Hello and welcome to the Super Basement Bro Show. I'm Connor and I'm joined by my co-host Tanner and Hasten.
Hello!
We just got done watching the Xbox E3 2019 briefing alongside the Bethesda 2019 press conference. We're going to go ahead and start with Xbox and we'll get to Bethesda a little later. Let's take it from the top. What'd you guys think overall? Overall thoughts of Xbox's 2019 showing?
I personally felt like it was pretty good, pretty strong. You guys may feel differently, but there wasn't much that they missed, you know. We talked about it briefly that we think they could have talked about Xcloud a little more, but otherwise I'm not too disappointed.
So for me I think it started super strong. I was really into it. I think the first half was definitely stronger than the second half for me.
Yeah.
I think the way they started the show without anyone coming out and them just showing four games.
New game.
And it was,
new game.
And they were all Xbox Game Studio games.
And on Xbox Game Pass.
And on Xbox Game Pass. So it just felt it was such a strong start. Just to recap, we got a brand new Minecraft game called Dungeons,
awesome.
Which looks really cool.
Really cool.
What else did we get in that very
From what it looks
we
like,
got Ori and the
could
Wild
potentially
Wisps.
be a timed exclusive. But yeah, Ori and the Will of the Wisp.
What else was there? There was
see.
Tons. I mean, we had Blair Witch game announced, which was really awesome. We were trying to think of what it was.
I forgot to mention, the show started with the Outer Wilds. What did you guys think of that? That was a little strange. I know Obsidian is now owned by Microsoft, so that makes sense.
Outer Wilds looks really cool.
Outer Wilds will also be on PS4.
It does look really cool.
Hasten hit it on the mark by saying it looks like a Fallout
mixed with like Skyrim.
almost like a No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Like a space Fallout. It looks really cool. And the good thing is we don't even have to worry about buying it.
Yeah, there's a lot of these games that we're going to be talking about for Xbox that we're just like, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, so it's like you don't have to be skeptical of buying it. You know, you just play it for free.
Yeah.
See how you like it.
Oh, and sorry, we keep saying Outer Wilds. It's Outer Worlds. Sorry,
yeah.
Outer Wilds is another indie game that came out recently. But Outer Worlds, developed by Obsidian.
I did think it was a little strange that they opened like that.
Yeah,
I will
did
say,
too.
because we've seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Xbox is like, this is going to be a big game, though.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe they're pushing it really hard.
Well, and they also want to kind of show
be...
off one of their studios now. Like, look what our studios can do.
Even though it's going to be exclusive?
No, it's PS4 as well.
I was going to say.
Which I was saying. So that's why it was a little weird. Yeah. But then leading up with that, recently purchased Ninja Theory by the guys who did Hellblade.
We saw a really cool new
their
4-player
new game
multiplayer.
Yeah, it's called Bleeding Edge. This was kind of like, it kind of looked almost Overwatch-y.
Overwatch, Sunset
weird.
Overdrive. Yeah, kind of like the crazy apocalyptic Overwatch hero system. I personally thought it looked awesome.
It did look cool, but of the 4 games, it's the ones I'm least excited for.
Yeah,
I actually disagree. I think it was one of my more excited ones.
Yeah, I think it could be fun. I think it could be fun. I'm not like looking forward to it necessarily, but I feel like it could be one of those games that comes out, it's on Game Pass, and us 3 jump into it and we actually kind of have fun with it.
Yeah.
Kind of like an Apex.
Yeah.
I will say though, I think a big reason for the hype for me was the trailer was really awesome. Because the game could be, for all we know, not very good. You know? But the trailer was really well put together.
Yeah, and then the technical alpha for that starts next month, so people can probably jump in. And then it was
I will
Ori.
say real quick, before we talk anything out, a lot of these are going to be 2020. Like,
yes.
And this is going to be
Pretty much
rough
everything.
Because
I mean,
2019 is going to one rough end of the year.
Me and Hasten were talking about it slightly when the show ended, and Bethesda's, but we were mentioning that one of the most disappointing thing I'd say overall from these 2 press conferences is most things seem like they're 2020. Yeah. Which
2020 is going to be a huge year for games.
Yeah, but it's just a little disappointing that there's not that much this year.
Granted, though, I feel like this will be kind of anecdotal because Nintendo, I'm sure they have a lot planned for 2019. I mean, they got Luigi's Mansion, they got Animal Crossing, all this stuff. So I feel like we're not going to be lost without games. Like, we're not going to have not that many, you know? Because we still have also PlayStation, who hasn't talked about what they're doing in 2019. And
Death Stranding, that's pretty much it. But that's it, really.
But like with Nintendo, I feel like there's a lot more, you know?
I feel like, especially after watching these, I was holding out hope that we were going to get some really awesome announcements, which we did, but like a lot of more awesome announcements for this year. But after watching these press conferences, I really feel like everyone's building for the next gen,
Yeah.
like building for next
Well,
year.
if you
I think
realize
next
Or
year's
early
E-
fall, getting it out before the next consoles.
I think next year is going to be really insane.
It's
with-
going to be
with
kind of
E3
like
and stuff
back when it
that.
was 2015 when Xbox One launched. Wasn't that
2013.
2013. Because Xbox One, PS4, it was that year was insane. Like, it was insane because we had the console wars, you had all these games coming out as launch titles, and yeah, next year's gonna be huge. It's gonna be one of those years again. You know, we have these every once in a while.
We might
Yeah.
get like that's the thing that next year we might get like the Spider-Man remake for the PlayStation, God of War.
God of War.
We're gonna get
Horizon
Infinite,
2.
yeah, and all these games too.
Oh my gosh.
So next year's gonna be big, but this year, like the only game I'm looking forward to is Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm kind of apprehensive.
And
about it, like I talked
Borderlands
about
3
Yeah.
for me is that one. Of course, I haven't seen Nintendo's though.
Yeah.
I'm holding off because E3's not done.
Oh, of
You know,
course
I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
No,
completely
E3 just started today.
And I'm not completely disappointed with 2019 yet, because I will admit, yeah, as of right now, Borderlands 3 and somewhat Jedi Fallen Order. That's really it. You know, that I'm excited for. You know, of course, there's DLCs for games like Destiny and stuff.
One thing I was going to say is I totally forgot to mention it to you after the Xbox conference. I can't believe it, but we did not see the Cuphead DLC.
I heard you say
Like,
that.
what the heck?
Look,
Where is it? That's so crazy to me.
What I think is, we recently, this is some stupid news that we haven't talked about, but it was so small. Cuphead's coming to the Tesla, right?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that not just that, but Cuphead came to the Switch recently. I feel like Studio MVHR is slowly working on being multi-platform and not just exclusive to Xbox. And I think that they're working on right now porting it to PlayStation or something else.
Well, regardless of
where they're
if
waiting until the DLC can come to everything at once.
Regardless of that, I think they're owned by Microsoft. So
Yeah.
Microsoft would have the say still. Like, Microsoft, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, it sounds like they let Studio MDHR put it on the Switch. It wasn't because they wanted to. I mean, of course they wanted to, but Microsoft wanted it to happen, so they let it happen.
Right.
So, and Microsoft has done that with a lot of their games.
Which, I'm glad...
Minecraft and stuff, we've talked about these.
I'm glad you actually brought up Nintendo, because we didn't see anything from Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Which
There was a lot of rumors going into it that we would.
I actually am not
but
surprised by this,
nothing.
though. Because I predicted it, I don't know if it was officially, but I predicted that it wouldn't be at Xbox's press conference. Because it would be weird for Phil Spencer to announce software coming for the Switch.
Everything though, like there wasn't a single other logo other than Xbox at their conference.
Yeah.
Like even PlayStation, the games that are going on PlayStation, it didn't show.
Yeah.
Like it was. Just
But
like,
it never
this is
has.
Xbox.
It never has.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that makes
But
sense.
that's the thing is, Xbox was the only really big conference literally at E3. So you would have
We
thought.
get Nintendo, though.
Yeah, but Nintendo's not at E3. You know, what I mean, it's their normal
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah.
It's still big, but you think they would have like done something. I mean,
Yeah, and it's a little. It's one of those things where it's like coming up here. The next one was Minecraft Dungeons, which we were going to talk about, which looks awesome. Actually, it looks like a 4-player-esque gauntlet type Minecraft game. So a brand new Minecraft game, also coming to PS4 though, and I'd imagine Switch.
I think it's a timed exclusive, though. I don't think it's immediately coming to PS4.
No, it immediately is.
It is.
Launch day and date from what it sounds like. There's no launch date, but from what I've read,
See,
it's
that's
coming
that's
forth.
one of my complaints. That's one of my few complaints about the entire thing is a lot of the games were too vague about if they were exclusive or not. Mm-hmm. You know, because they said 14 Xbox Game Studio games. They're like, okay, those are going to be exclusive.
none of them are
What-
exclusive anymore because they're all going on PC.
right?
Yeah.
But I still consider that exclusive because it's
still
Microsoft.
owned by
It's still
Microsoft,
Microsoft. Yeah. I mainly mean like the consoles themselves. And that was one of my biggest disappointments. Is that it was so vague. You know, like we'd get a game announcement and we'd be like, "That's so awesome!" You know, Minecraft Dungeons. Is it exclusive? You know,
Who cares? Like, just be excited. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna get to play it.
Well,
You know
no,
what I mean?
that's. Don't get me wrong. I'm way excited, right?
I'm
And
just
Minecraft
saying-
Dungeons is coming
Yeah.
to Game Pass.
Why?
Immediately.
Yeah.
You
Why?
know
And
what I'm
while I
saying?
agree with that sentiment that it's like just be excited and you're gonna get to play it, I agree with that completely. But Xbox's job here is to promote their console
games.
and their brand.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
we-
if all
we-
these
we-
games are shown off are coming to other consoles, why? Why is it selling Xbox?
Well, no, and the reason
You
I
know what
disagree
mean?
with what Hasten said is because, like, obviously I'm excited, right? That's why I said that, though. You know, like, I am excited for the game, but I want to know if this is Xbox's accomplishment. Like, oh, this is our game. Because it'll be
Well,
huge.
it is.
Oh, no, I know. But imagine like, for instance...
Well, the Xbox... these aren't, like, Xbox's accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like, Mojang made this game.
Oh, no, I understand that.
Their accomplishment is Gears 5
but like
and Halo
we said,
Infinite.
Xbox owns Mojang. Mm-hmm. They own Minecraft. Like, they chose to put it on the other consoles, which is awesome. But that's one thing that it was vague to me, because I assumed every game that's launching on Game Pass is exclusive. That's what I was assuming, right? I eventually found out that wasn't true, because Minecraft Dungeons is launching on Game Pass, which is awesome. Oh, that's one thing, is one of the biggest high points was we got so many games announced for Game Pass.
Yeah.
Game Pass
even right
is,
now.
They were announced at the very beginning, like 3 or 4 big name games that are coming. We got Hollow Knight, Borderlands Handsome Collection, which is huge. Batman Arkham Knight, and then...
Handsome Collection, right? Did you say
I already
that?
said that.
Okay. One. I can't remember the other one. I'll find it.
Yeah, there was another one.
Yeah, and so we got huge... Forza Horizon
Forza
4.
Motorsport. No.
No, I feel like we already knew about that. There was another one.
Yeah.
But...
either way, that was one of the big
also,
high points.
these 4 we mentioned that they started the show with, also Ori and the Will of the Wisps finally got a release date.
Which we've seen a lot of in the past years.
Well,
Metro Exodus.
Metro, the newest.
They
that just barely came out.
also added
just came
Guacamelee 2, though.
Yeah.
Which, they didn't even announce that. They're just like, Guacamelee 2 is going to be on there.
And Metro Exodus is big because that literally came out in,
Just
January?
barely. Oh, yeah.
February? Like,
Literally
that's a brand
recent.
new game.
I mean, even you could argue like Handsome Collection. Handsome Collection sure is free on PlayStation Plus, but it's still a $40 game.
Oh my gosh,
right now it's
yeah.
discounted.
It's a big
it
deal.
comes with 2 games.
They're
like,
saying it's like $60 on their website because it's like marked down from $59.99 to $9.
I mean, it comes with 2 games. You know?
And once again, another game with a 2020 release date of February is Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which
is surprising to me.
Which was a little
we've
surprising
heard
because
that
you were
since
saying
last
we've seen
year.
it. We've seen it quite a bit. I think we've seen it at least for a year or 2.
Yeah.
And so it's just surprising that game's going to be a full another year away.
It is, yeah. I guess not a full.
Not a full year,
about
but
6 months.
Yeah, but another 2020 release. I was just kind of hoping that would be
me too.
like next few months.
I was way surprised about that. I think that one's a really big surprise as to why that one's 2020.
Yeah.
You know,
but
I will say
Game
it
Pass,
looks awesome though.
Yeah.
And it's coming to Game Pass immediately.
Which is cool.
Which, like I said, that was one of the biggest high points because there were so many games that looked pretty cool. Not like super cool, but cool enough to where I want to try them, but I don't want to buy them. And almost all of them are on Game Pass, which is so awesome.
Honestly, I feel like Game Pass stole the show for Xbox.
Really did.
Because
I'm glad
if you
they
think
focused
about
on
it,
it,
if
too.
a lot of these games, if they didn't have the coming to Xbox Game Pass little tag, I don't think most people would be as interested in them. But because they're coming to Game Pass, most people, like we did this multiple times during conference, were like, "Oh, I'll try that out.
Right.
I'll jump into that."
You know how they do like best of E3? Mm-hmm. Like if Cyberpunk 2077 wasn't at the Xbox conference and like it wasn't shown at the E3, Game Pass probably would have taken
easy,
like best of E3 with how much they're adding. And it's just as a gaming service for gamers.
Well, and what pissed me off is I remember I got on Twitter like an hour or so after the press conference, and so many people were saying like, "Oh, that was kind of trash and that was underwhelming." I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like, sure, as far as games, there wasn't too much like surprises. We weren't like, oh, Banjo-Kazooie, you know, but like Game Pass was huge. Mm-hmm. We not only that, people failed to realize we got a console confirmation and announcement. And of course, we didn't get to see the console.
Ultimately, I feel like that was disappointing though because I expected that. Like I went into it expecting that that's exactly what we'd get because I was like, it's gonna be another year and a half or a year before the console releases, I'd imagine. So I expected we'd get what we get, but I was just hoping for a little more.
But
I was hoping.
Let me ask you this: would you rather have them not say anything?
What do you mean?
Would you rather have them not even mention it?
Well, no, not necessarily.
No. See, this is how I look at it. They at least mentioned it. It's kind of like Bethesda with mentioning Elder Scrolls 6. I appreciate them mentioning instead of being like, is it ever going to come, you know?
Yeah.
Like, having that confirmation to be like, okay, Xbox Scarlett is a true thing. Not only that, but we got a release date. Fall 2020.
You know,
along with Halo Infinite as a launch title.
2020.
Holiday, yeah. With Halo Infinite as a launch title. Like, that's huge. That confirms that Halo Infinite is a next-gen game. And that a lot of these games that could potentially not have release dates could be next gen. Even something like Cyberpunk, you know?
You know what they did though? Like, you know how they were like native 8K gaming? Mm-hmm. And that they did that exact same thing with the last console. Remember how Xbox One was supposed to be 4K gaming? Same thing with PS4. They're like 4K gaming.
And that didn't happen.
It didn't happen until the Xbox One X.
Well,
and the PS4 Pro.
And that's the thing is like...
So they're like, this is capable.
And this is one of those...
And 8K literally started coming out a few months ago. Mm-hmm. That's just a new thing. It's like they weren't planning on this.
Yeah, and it's
And
also
Such a lie. I know that's a lie.
And here's
it's
what
it's one of
Guarantee it's
those
a lie.
things that's going to be coming later. It's like the thing Tanner was bringing up in the last thing, where it's like up to, like
Up
Google
to.
say you can do up to. It's like the new Xbox will be
4K.
can
And
go up to
and
8K,
you wanna
but it
know-
won't be till later.
You want to
till
know
we figure
something
that
stupid
out.
though? Is I almost guarantee you the only reason they said that is because that's what the PlayStation guy said.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and
In his interview, he's like, 8K. So the Xbox was probably like, okay, we have to say that it's 8K.
Well, of course.
Because it probably could, but not at launch. I don't think so. Because like you said, 8K is like brand new. 4K
There's
was
barely-
the biggest thing.
an
Yeah.
8K TV costs like $10,000 right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It's
8K.
insane.
And to say
4K just got cheap.
So it's like it's
barely.
literally like it was ridiculous that they're both of these companies, because PlayStation is guilty of this too.
They said it too, yeah, I agree.
claiming 8K, because not only is that cool, but who has 8K anyway?
This
Yeah.
is the
You have a
problem.
4K TV. My Xbox can run 8K, but my TV's only 4K.
And see, this is the biggest
I'm not gonna
problem.
spend
This is
$3
why
grand.
I wasn't like I was a little underwhelmed with the console announcement type stuff, because it's
and
like
and with the Xbox One, the original, they were like, "Hey, we have this brand new chip made by like I think they went with Nvidia at the time." But they said the same, like everything they said was the same.
Well, no.
as the Xbox One.
The biggest-
it's just the next.
the biggest-
It's, they're like instead of like
4K,
4K,
it's
gaming,
8K.
It's 8K.
See, for me, the
And-
biggest like surprise as far as the console announcement was SSD.
was the solid state
That
drive.
we're gonna get
That is-
SSD
that is
in the
big.
console.
That
And
is-
it scares me. Connor was mentioning it so much. It scares me the price.
I'm
Yeah,
not
because-
worried about. I mean, I'm gonna pay whatever. Personally,
yeah.
I understand.
Like,
Like
anything
as far as
500 and
Xbox
under.
sales go,
In
like
terms
it
of
could
a-
hurt it.
In terms of a natural consumer, though, is what I'm
Yes.
saying. Like a grandma walking in the store, she sees a $600 Xbox. Like that's gonna deter.
But
her
that's gonna make the Xbox a better console.
true.
When what I'm really glad.
I mean, SSD. I don't know if you guys have ever like booted up a PC with SSD, but it's insane.
it's nuts.
It
Well-
literally turns on immediately, kind of like the Xbox
Yeah.
One does now.
Well, I agree. I agree as to why it would be a better experience as a gamer. But the problem is you look at when the Xbox 360 and PS3 came out. PS3 was $600. Xbox 360 I think was $400, and PS3 had more capabilities. It did. It had Blu-ray player. Xbox 360 didn't.
Yeah.
Like PS3 had more bang for its buck. But look, the Xbox 360 destroyed
Well,
the
no,
PS3
this
at the
is
time
why-
because nobody wanted to pay $600.
I'm
for a
ultimately
console.
very happy with the announcement of the console, because I personally think it was very smart of them not to go into too much detail. Because the truth is,
it's because they haven't
PlayStation
built it yet.
and PlayStation hasn't talked crap about it. Hasn't said anything about their console.
To the- as much as Xbox.
just
has.
as much, right? And so Xbox didn't want to come out and basically spoil everything that they have planned so PlayStation can one-up them, right?
Yeah.
They're playing it smart, because Xbox at this point, they have to do something better, because last generation, towards the end, they started picking up with backward compatibility, but before that, they were getting stomped on by PlayStation, because PlayStation made the jokes about, this is how you lend a game, our console's cheaper, all this crazy shit, right? They cannot, if Xbox
true
came
stuff
out,
that was good.
If Xbox came out today and was like, they showed the console and they're like, it's going to be $600 USD, and there's no disc driver, like they said a bunch of stupid stuff, and PlayStation would find a way to use that against them.
Next year they'd be like, well, guess what? Ours is $500.
Ours has a disc drive, has all backwards compatible. They would find a way to do that,
Which would be smart.
And
That'd be
don't
smart
get me
as a
wrong,
marketing thing.
that is smart, because Xbox would do the same with the PlayStation.
And the thing is,
They
is
both
like,
have to announce it around the same.
I don't know
time.
if this was ever confirmed or not, and it totally could have just been rumor at the time. But I remember back in 2013 when there was the press conferences at E3 when both companies announced price. Xbox had the Sunday slot, PlayStation had the Monday night slot, and like how it usually is. And Xbox at theirs announced $500, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool." And then so PlayStation, there was a lot of reports going on that
they changed
PlayStation changed their price. They
From
convinced
600.
like their higher ups that we need to
got to
be
do
we
400.
got to be cheaper, and they dropped it to 400 the day before just so they could get and it won. Like they destroyed E3 that year.
Well, think about it.
because
Like,
of that.
if you're a natural consumer, a person who's not a
And that
fanboy,
could all be false reporting. Who knows?
a
but-
person who's not a fanboy, you see two consoles exactly the same power, same everything. One's 400, one's 500, right? You're gonna buy
gonna go
the
the
cheaper
cheaper
one.
one.
Yeah, and that's honestly why PlayStation destroyed it first. They honestly did. There's no denying that. And I think Xbox is playing it smart by not talking too much about this console. Both companies are keeping it so secret. I wouldn't be surprised if a month before their releases, we only know so much about them.
One thing I'm worried about
I think
that
next
we didn't...
E3 it's going to be the launch of the
That, like I said,
consoles.
it's going to be just like 2013.
Yeah.
It's going to be just like it.
It's going to be awesome. I love
those.
the console
yeah,
war.
console wars is awesome.
I'm really worried. One thing we didn't get an announcement of, which it's probably totally fine. We'll probably get it, in the next year or so. But I was really thinking they would come out and just be like, "Hey, backwards compatibility with every Xbox game."
Mm-hmm.
But because that PlayStation did that I mean, they didn't say every PlayStation, but when they did their little thing, they said it is backwards compatible with the PlayStation 4.
Well, with the PlayStation
you have
4.
to imagine you're going to be able to play your Xbox One games on this. But
who knows?
yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
Who knows?
Here's the
They were
thing.
so against that at the beginning of this console cycle.
exactly.
So is PlayStation, really. Like, if you think about it, I mean, they claim to
PlayStation
be,
way more so. Yeah.
but Xbox is way further ahead of them than this
Yeah,
console gen.
yeah.
So I just really hope that they do say something like, "Hey, guess what? There's going to be."
My only problem with that is because Xbox isn't stupid.
Yeah, of course not. I'm not saying they won't.
Well, I know, and it could be possible. Don't get me wrong, because they could be very stupid, and history tends to repeat itself, right? But Xbox was so adamant about backwards compatibility recently.
Yeah.
I doubt that's gonna just be not even a thing.
Yeah, I just want I want backwards compatibility with every Xbox game,
and like I
including
said,
the original
we've talked
Xbox.
about
Yeah.
in a podcast. I wish we could name it, but we talk about how that was our number one wish for the next console is if every single game was playable. If it basically had a 360 and an Xbox inside of it.
It should.
Not physically, but digitally.
and Xbox One.
Oh my gosh, it would blow every other console out of the water because not even Nintendo has that.
I mean,
Not even Nintendo
I wouldn't
has
say
virtual
it would
console.
blow every other console out of the water,
Well,
but
no,
it would be a big selling point.
As far as
I could
backwards
see them doing
compatibility,
it though too. Like Xbox has been so gamer friendly the past 2 years that
Yeah.
I
They
think
had to.
I
They
think
had
they
to.
really could dominate this
Yeah.
next generation.
Yeah.
I think it really could be like a new thing every other generation. They just kind of keep swapping.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're talking about next gen and stuff and Xbox's like stuff like that because I believe that too. But a big disappointment that you already mentioned was I so wish they would have gone into more detail about Xcloud.
Yeah.
Because we still know barely anything.
That was one of the biggest things I was looking forward to, and they had such an opportunity. We were talking about just in our last episode to come in and be like, "Hey, we have what Stadia
Doesn't.
like
We are Stadia,
and,
but better.
and instead,
Yeah.
they barely touched on XCloud.
You know the funny thing is about all these cloud gaming things, right? I'm gonna go into Bethesda a little bit because we know more about Bethesda's cloud streaming thing
Yeah.
because they showed it
They
working
showed it, yeah.
in the thing than either of Stadia
Yeah,
or
that's
this other-
hilarious.
like what the heck?
Stadia, the console that's supposed to be based on that, didn't even show gameplay stuff like Bethesda did.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. And I'm just saying, that was probably the best part of Bethesda. One of the best parts of Bethesda's conference is because they went into detail. It sounds like this is something they're very proud of.
Here's the thing. With that, what they showed off, the idea of it was great and all, but what mattered is they showed it. Like,
Yeah,
they
they showed
exactly.
Like, if they had just
They
talked
could have
about
said
it,
anything.
They could have said all this BS and stuff, and we could have been like,
Up
"Oh,
to
cool,
4K
cool,
gaming."
great."
And-
But because we saw
They showed it running
I was
in
like,
60 frames per
"Whoa."
second.
I was like, "Dang, that's really
On her
cool."
cell phone.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's not its own streaming service, which is
not.
cool. It's a tool used with the streaming services. So you have Xcloud and Bethesda's thing, or Stadia and Bethesda's thing, because then it just makes those things better, which is really cool. Because I want to know more about this because I'm so glad they were able to show it because that looked awesome. It was like really fast, normal frame rate, high quality Doom with a controller, like. That was awesome. Yeah. And that's something that we've always wanted. That's what we were hoping Stadia was, or even Xbox. And
wow, we got sidetracked.
Yeah. I'm jumping back here to
probably get back
the
to
Xbox
the
conference.
actual...
Yeah, real fast. I do want to mention, I do wonder now when the Cuphead DLC will launch. Because without any sort of... There is a possibility it shows up at Nintendo, but I think that's pretty slim. But now I'm just like, it's been literally almost 2 years since the original Cuphead.
I could definitely see it coming
That's a while.
at Nintendo. Just because it just released on Nintendo, I could be like, I could definitely see it.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
And, oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to get my hypes up, but maybe they're saving it because there's also going to be a tie-in with Cuphead being a playable character in Smash.
Right. Well, and like I said, here's the thing is, there's too many leaks and, ties with Nintendo and Xbox. I doubt it. I will be I'm willing to bet money that we will see something, especially at Nintendo's, because even if it's the smallest thing, our friends at Xbox, because like Xbox didn't even mention Nintendo in their entire press conference, not once.
Yeah, surprisingly.
You know? Surprisingly.
That was on a lot of people's drinking game.
You know what's something funny too is Bethesda did. You know, like if they even mentioned their name in their console and like so.
I mean, Bethesda makes sense though.
So I'm thinking if anything we get it during Nintendo, and I could see. My hope is the Banjo remaster, and I think they're going to remaster it for the Switch, and then they could even potentially announce it that it's coming to the Xbox or something, because there's been too many like new renders of Banjo and all these secrets, and everybody's been talking about it, and anyway.
So when Phil Spencer finally came out, they touted at the start of the conference. They said they're going to show off 60 games, 14 Xbox Game Studio games, 34 Game Pass games, and that's what really stole the show right there.
Yeah.
And then we got another look at...
How many of them are debuting? A lot debuting on Game Pass.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Jedi Fallen Order, we got another new cinematic, which looked cool. Like, we got to see a little bit more story details. So that's interesting. And then we went to a world premiere, which this one really caught me off guard. A Blair Witch game.
Yeah.
Coming in August. It looks. At first, I thought it was.
None of us had seen it. Like we were like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah. When I was first watching it, I was like, "Is this a new Slender game? Like, really, really well made or something?" But yeah, Blair Witch. I noticed. I figured out it was Blair Witch as soon as I saw the guy standing in the corner of the room.
Is that how you knew?
Yeah, I knew right then because that's a famous scene in Blair Witch. But then we transitioned into Cyberpunk 2077.
Which looked awesome.
Got an extended
Keanu Reeves
cinematic of that. And we got the big reveal, which is that Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk. What do you guys think of that?
That's awesome. I mean, I love Keanu Reeves. He's gotten this huge uproar now after John Wick. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he really stole the show for a lot of people too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That was a great moment. He seemed like I've heard he's such a nice guy too. Mm-hmm. He just seems very friendly and whatnot. But I wanted to see a little more gameplay for Cyberpunk. But
did we even see gameplay?
We saw a little bit. It was like the tiniest amount, though. I feel like. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we also got the release date confirmation for April 16th, 2020. Another 2020 game.
Which that's one of those games that I could definitely see coming out on old gen and next gen.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like Call of Duty Ghost and.
I do wonder.
When is that 4/16 though? That's kind of late. Like after if it's holiday 2020.
But it could be as early as October in holiday.
It's weird though because I do wonder now, like. You know, with the last generation, we saw stuff like Last of Us can't come out and then immediately get a remaster. Mm-hmm. They're like, are they gonna necessarily need to remaster like games like this now? Because we're getting to that point where it's like they already look so good. Maybe Cyberpunk is just like we're just porting it to the next system.
That's what I was gonna think. It was like just a port.
And would they even need to port it? Because the thing is if PS5 and the next Xbox are backwards compatible, like we're talking about. Why would
what I mean is I think that they would need a port because maybe they want to have up to 8K. They want to be able to have their game to get up to that high. So you can play it on the original console, but they want it to where they port it to where you can play it at the high.
I wonder if they'd still be able. I mean, you can kind of do stuff like that now with like 360 games even for the Xbox.
Well, they even come out with the free updates like the 4K enhanced.
Yeah, I think like Red Dead had one recently, so it's like they could even do something like that, honestly. Yeah. But I think for sure we'll see Cyberpunk and stuff. And like Death Stranding on next-gen systems.
I'm so pumped for Cyberpunk. It looks cool.
It does look really cool.
I didn't think I was going to be because it was on my... I still need gameplay. You know what I mean?
Well, I wonder if it's going to be third person. Like Witcher.
It's first person from the gameplay we've seen. But I do wonder if there's like a third person option.
Oh, you're right. We did see some gameplay.
Yeah.
I remember now.
And it's first person, which is weird for CD Projekt Red.
Yep.
But then we got the indie section. So we got a bunch of indie games.
Yeah, it was just a ton of...
We got Build,
probably 20
Spiral
games.
Fair. Yeah, it was a bunch. Oh, but then the big one in there was Battletoads, which is... I don't know if they said was developed by Rare or not.
Rare tweeted about it.
Did they?
So I don't know. But...
Yeah.
I've never played Battletoads.
It's one of the hardest games of all time.
I'm just going to say off the bat, it looks kind of weird.
The animation style is different. Yeah. Style. I'm not super in love with it.
It reminds me of like
on the Game
newer
Pass?
TMNTs.
It will be on
Did they
Game
announce
Pass.
it for Game Pass? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's an Xbox game.
It looks like a fun game to play all together.
Yeah, and it's 3-player co-op. So.
I don't, like I said,
just do a
my
Friday
only
night and
concern
that'd be fun.
is the art style. I think it's a little weird.
It's a little more cartoony than I would have expected.
How I would put it is like almost like the new Ninja Turtles show.
Exactly.
For the Nickelodeon. Like,
yeah.
It looks kind of...
It almost looks like Nickelodeon made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which could be awesome. It could be awesome. I mean, you look at all these games with awesome art styles, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then the indie showcase kept going.
And it kept going.
Yeah, it went for a while. But then we got the Game Pass announcements like we were talking
those were
about,
cool.
which were cool.
Which we also got the lady come out and talk more in depth about Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Yep,
which is really cool. Which, I've looked into it. It will have select games that Xbox Game Pass doesn't. But it looks like they're going to all cycle in and out. So the ones that are on PC Game Pass will eventually be on Xbox Game Pass and then back on PC Game Pass. So it'll just be like this.
And if you want, there's a deal going on right now. You can jump into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which combines Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass together for $1 a month. You trial anyway.
Yeah.
But then it's regularly $15 a month. So if you want to jump into that, I think
good.
we all highly recommend Game Pass.
Very much.
At this point,
you got
I've seen it on Twitter. It's like at this point, if you don't have Game Pass, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're what are you waiting
for?
for?
At least if you're on Xbox. Like if you're on Xbox,
Now PC too.
Yeah, it's like what would be
And
holding
maybe
you
Switch
back?
tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to mention.
If you want to get most of Xbox's exclusives, get Game Pass.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
I'm pretty sure
you can
get
save
almost
so much
all
money
the
on
exclusives that are available.
Well, yeah, you can.
Anything made by game studios that are like bought by Xbox are on there.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention something that was very cool and surprising to me. Is every time they mentioned Game Pass, they said, in this bundle you get Game Pass for console. They said console, not Xbox. They said console. They said Xbox Game Pass for console, Xbox Live, and Xbox Game Pass for PC. And they specifically kept saying console and not Xbox Game Pass for your Xbox or Xbox One. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm imagining that this bundle, the ultimate bundle, is if Tuesday we get an announcement of Game Pass on Switch, it'll include that. Maybe. Xbox Game Pass for console. Console gaming, both consoles. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be awesome.
I mean, that would be awesome. I seriously think it'll be a huge missed opportunity if they don't do that. Thank you, Joe. Yeah.
Then we got what you guys were saying looks incredibly beautiful. We got Microsoft Flight Simulator, which was
it did look amazing.
Oh, it looks amazing.
Really, I think they must have used that new technology, like the photo
realism.
It's like what game's gonna be using it? I can't remember.
Elder Scrolls 6. The demo the graphics demo we got for it.
Yeah, they're using like photo symmetry, so they go to actual places, and the photos that they take, they basically port back into the game.
They mold it around the model.
So I think that's kind of what the Flight Simulator did.
Yeah, it did.
That's why it
really
looks
pretty.
so good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole new technology that they're starting to use.
Yeah, and we didn't get a release date or anything like that for it, but that was announced, and then we got an announcement that blew me away. Probably for me personally, of this conference, the one that surprised me the most, that I was super hyped about,
Age of
Empires 2 Definitive Edition. So they're
on Game Pass.
Which, if you don't know, me and Connor grew up with this game.
Yeah,
this thing was huge in our life.
On PC back in the day.
Specifically Age of Empires 2.
Yeah, this one. Which is weird that they chose to... I don't know if they ever definitized the first one, but it's amazing that they jumped to number 2, because that's like my favorite one.
Yeah.
But it looks awesome. Like, it's all in HD,
it does look really good, especially for it being on Xbox.
Yeah. It looks like it's been remade from like the ground up almost, which is really awesome. And then we go on to a really weird game that was shown. Remember this? I don't remember what it was called. There's not a title.
What one?
But let's see.
Describe it.
Wasteland 3.
Where was 1 and 2? I've never seen 1 and 2.
I've never heard of this series at all.
And I'm just saying that sorry.
No, you're good.
The video that they showed, or the trailer, the frame rate kept dropping, and it was like cutting. It was like choppy. It was really bad trailer.
I zoned out a minute into it. I was like, what is happening?
I think they were trying to be funny, but it did not work. It was like, they're like, come visit Colorado. It was like this drunk guy talking, and he's like, there are guns and it was really weird. Like, I'm glad they didn't advertise it super much for this, for the Xbox.
Yeah. Then we got another big announcement, which is Xbox is
bought another studio.
continues to buy studios, and this time they bought Double Fine Productions, which was
Made
actually a really
Psychonauts.
big deal. They make Psychonauts. They're more of like an indie kind of obscure company that's really popular though. Like it has a really big fan base.
Well, I think they're trying to pull it out of the indie scene and make it more of a AAA.
Yeah, and Tim Schafer is the lead of that, and he's one of the most well-known video game developers. So that was a really cool moment. It's cool to see Xbox continuing to buy studios. Like I thought after last year they were going to be done. They're like, look, we bought 6. You guys are happy? Or
You guys done?
You guys done?
Goodness. Okay,
complaining
one
about
more.
it?
We'll buy another
It's
one.
like, all right, we're going to keep buying. So I kind of hope, cool it would be if every E3 we just got like one new game studio.
Well, and not even
That'd
just
be
E3, like even at like the X.
Microsoft buys EA.
Yeah.
I would be like, terrible decision.
You idiots.
I think
I
next.
would want that though, because then maybe they'd
Straighten their act
them
up
out,
a little bit.
I think next is when we get the Forza announcement, right?
No, we
No.
actually got Lego Star Wars next.
Lego Star Wars,
Which
which
is cool. All
It's
9
all of them.
movies will be coming to of the Skywalker
and
saga.
from what it sounds like, they're gonna be not necessarily remastered,
Coming.
but re-graphic.
2020.
Coming 2020, of
Once
course.
again, just one of those ones for me that I was like, why isn't that one 2020? Because
Yeah,
is
they
it
usually
really
put
that
those
hard?
out. I wonder if they're trying something different with it, maybe putting a bit more time into it, because normally Lego games aren't shown on an E3 stage either.
No.
So they're normally just announced on a random Tuesday, and they're like, hey, it's coming out next week.
So I'm
Cool, right?
guessing it's a bigger deal than usual.
Yeah, I think this
We
one's
got
gonna-
actually
Lego Star
double.
Wars is the one that started it all, and I used
it?
to love Lego Star Wars, right? I mean, I feel like it was the one that started
Yeah,
it
it
all,
was.
right?
It
Yeah,
was the very first Lego game.
and I love Lego Star
Well,
Wars. So.
Lego, the AAA Lego games. Like there was also the
Yeah.
ones on PC, like
Of
Lego
course.
Builder and like
I'm saying the ones like the
ones that
Traveler's
came out
Tales.
on consoles and TT. Yeah.
Then we got a Dragon Ball game. I don't know anything about
I don't
Dragon
know.
Ball really, so
I mean, really, like the gameplay actually looked kind of cool, but like I'm not into the things. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't buy it.
yeah, same. Then we
Sorry,
got
guys.
a
if
really
you're into
cool.
Dragon Ball. I know you probably are.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are. So. Then we got a really cool
Dude, this
trailer
thing was
for
intense.
a movie or a game called 12 Minutes, which is that one
Oh my
which,
gosh, yeah.
if you remember from the trailer, it's like he's
Groundhog Day.
Type thing,
Reliving
reliving
the
the same
same
moment. And
moment.
it's all in like the same room in like an apartment.
Game Pass
Almost.
too.
Game Pass? Is it Game Pass?
Yeah,
I
it was
think
Game Pass.
so.
That would be awesome.
No,
I
it was
hope
Game
so.
Pass.
Was it?
I might be wrong, honestly.
I remember
I
that,
don't
'cause that was
remember,
one of
but
the
that
ones
would be
that was
awesome because this was one of the most interesting like indie looking ones for me for sure. I'm looking forward to that. We got Way to the Woods. I don't even remember this one being shown.
It was the deer.
Yeah, it was the
Oh
big
yeah, it was the deer.
one.
That's right.
That's for the bathroom break one.
Yep.
Then we got Gears 5 with a very weird teaser.
We were all laughing hard during that.
Yeah.
We were trying to keep it straight because it was Gears 5. It was a big deal, but everyone we were just like, "What the frick is happening right
Yeah.
now?"
It was just a really like
They
poor
had it set to Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, which would have been a lot cooler if the character was like standing still the whole time.
Yeah.
Her face thrown on
She
her.
kept
She's
making
like,
weird
"Ah,
faces.
grr."
It was not good.
And
for
then the
a
other
game
characters kept like appearing next to her.
like
on
guys
her
with
shoulder.
beards would appear next.
Yeah, a random guy who I
coming
was
out
like,
of her face. It's like, huh.
Me and Hasten went through all of Gears of War 4 together, and I did not recognize.
It was
one of the guys
Phoenix
who
and
came.
it was Marcus Phoenix.
Well, there was Marcus
and,
Phoenix, but then
the
there was
black dude, Coltrane.
Well, yeah, no, but then there was another guy. Remember who just had the giant beard?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
Who came, and it was just like, who the freak is he? Like he just
Maybe
appeared.
it's her dad or something.
It almost seemed like a meme moment where all of a sudden someone inserted like a fake character
Yeah,
that wasn't
like
from
Kermit.
the game. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
And then we got the release date for that, September 10th.
That's
which,
a big one. I'm excited for Gears 5.
Oh, me too.
I actually didn't get into Gears until last year.
And
me and you played 4.
Me and you played 4, and then I went back and beat 1, 2, and 3.
which
Oh,
So I
did you?
played all 4.
Oh, nice.
huge. It's gonna be on Game Pass PC.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
awesome.
is it?
Yeah,
Wow.
launching on Game Pass PC, which is sick.
This is actually a pretty big deal too because that's a lot sooner than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
I was thinking maybe October, November, which
yeah.
I guess is only like a month or 2 difference, but still, like September's only a few months away.
Yeah, I mean,
not long.
yeah, 2 months.
2 months really. Then there's like a horde mode thing they're doing,
Like an
and
escape room,
an escape room,
which
which
had
looks
some
really
awesome,
cool.
real life visuals with the stage.
Real quick, I want to. Everything is going 3-player.
I know. It's
I don't
awesome.
know what it is.
It's
super
perfect
cool.
for us. I don't know if you guys know, but like we've always looked for games that are like
Three,
something that we can
somehow.
play.
Uh-huh.
And then like you have Apex Legends drop, and then there's this Escape, and then there's like 2 more.
No,
that
there was
dropped
the
for this E3.
Doom
Doom
multiplayer.
yeah.
multiplayer
3.
3, and it's like
It's
oh
like
my God,
why?
I love
It's-
this.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's super weird though because like it's always
Maybe
been
it's because they're like everyone plays 4s. They know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's
Like there's not much we can
traditional.
do, so let's do 3. See how this goes.
Yeah.
And like you said, for us it works perfectly because there's a lot of times where if you have to fill an entire squad, usually with us, it's like we always have some rando.
Yeah.
Like one guy with us who we don't know, and it usually screws us. So it's nice. Like that's why Apex worked out so perfectly with the 3. Then we got news that Terminator is gonna pre-order bonus for
It's pretty
PS5.
cool.
It's kind of cool.
It's not even a pre-order bonus. If you have it on Xbox Game Pass, you get it. Like if you play it within the first week, you get it.
See, and that's awesome. That's really cool. Another reason for Game Pass. And then we got the new Elite controller. Hasten, you know more about these than I do.
I have the Elite controller, and personally, in my opinion, the Elite controller is the best controller for gaming. Like, period. There's not even another competition out there. Those Scuff Gaming ones I've heard are pretty good too. Maybe that's the closest. But it's got heft to it. It's not light. Like, you guys know how the controllers for Xbox are light. These ones are hefty. And, like, the rumbles in it are good.
That durability.
There's plastic rubber grips around the bottom. You can basically change everything about the controller. You can remap buttons.
That's cool.
It's just a lot nicer controller. And if we game so much, it's like, why not have the best controller?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I bought the $150 controller. My dog ate it, so I bought another one.
That's what I was gonna say.
So I've bought $300 worth of controllers, and I've only had two of them.
controllers.
I was gonna mention that. I was just about to say. I was like, they're basically impenetrable unless you have.
They
a
are,
giant
though. My dog chewed on it, and I could still use it if I wanted. I still have it at my house. It's playable. You know what I mean?
You just would prefer.
I would prefer not to have one. So I have the white one now that's pretty
cool.
nice. I'm probably not going to buy this one because it has the same features. It's just a little bit better, I guess. Yeah, so it has trigger stops that
40 hours per charge.
Yeah. That's a big one actually because Xbox has never released a controller with an internal battery.
That's cool.
So this is the first Xbox controller that has an internal battery. Crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like
probably a hint.
Sony's been doing it since PS3.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably a hint that like,
next generation
will have it.
which would be so smart.
And you know what I would like if they released the console in 2 versions. They had like the original and then one with like the Elite controller.
That'd be cool. Like
because I would buy the Elite one. You know what I mean?
Like they could do the regular standard edition and then the Elite package, which comes with like a different design to Xbox slightly, and then like
it says like Elite on it, and then the Elite controller.
That'd be cool.
I would buy that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be way cool.
But I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I was explaining what it has.
Yeah,
it's kind of a big deal. So it has smaller trigger stops, which is huge for Call of Duty. So if you're using like the one-shot guns that rapid fire, like the auger, it will let you fire those basically fully auto. So it's kind of like cheating, I guess. But it's not.
But it's not.
Also, you can take your grip things off and twist it, and it'll tighten how
the
joysticks move.
Yeah, I noticed that. It actually looks cool.
Yeah, and then I think there's some more rubber grips around it that it shows on there, but
this one looks like it has a lot more grip to it. That I noticed. I don't know if that's how the other one is.
The other
also,
does have it too.
This one looks quite grippy.
It doesn't have like the grip on the trigger here, but it does have the grip all around the handles.
Yeah, the grip on the trigger would be probably pretty nice, especially for shooters.
I don't know what.
Just the Xbox controllers are just so amazing.
For some reason, I don't know why this doesn't grip me. The Elite controllers.
Does it grip you? Do they need more grip on the controller?
They need to be more grippy.
Does it just need to be the full thing wrapped in grip?
No, I mean like for some reason like I definitely agree. I think if you play it enough and you have the money, like definitely get one. But for me, like I like the controller I have. You know, I don't know if I'd necessarily.
I'll have to show you the next time
because it's got the back things. I know that.
I don't even.
And
use
it makes
those.
it to where
I use it
instead
because
you
it's a better controller.
Yeah, instead of using this finger to pull the trigger, you can use it to do other things. You can like move and jump and shoot at the same time. It's pretty nice. But yeah, I don't know. Like it looks like the first one to me.
It has a few differences.
Yeah,
but it's not
has
crazy. And they didn't announce a price either. I bet it's like $200.
Yeah, it's probably expensive. They probably avoided saying
Unless
the price on stage.
if they do it, they're gonna have to put this like. It would be awesome if this was 150 and the old Elite dropped down to like
100,
75 or 100.
That'd be way cool.
You know what I mean? They'd make a lot more people buy the Elites.
Yeah, that'd be funny if on stage they're like, and we're happy to announce the price. It's $500.
People would be like, "Boo!"
Like, okay,
I'm betting it's probably $200.
Probably 200. That sounds right. Maybe 180, something like that. Then we got another 2020 game.
Dying Light
spring.
2.
Are you guys ready? Dying Light 2. This was announced last year, I think.
I really liked it. I remember when I got announced. It was something I was really excited for, but
This
2020.
The first Dying Light, I've actually heard a lot of positive things from people, but I don't know. For me, it kind of looks like a pretty generic zombie game. I don't know.
Looks
I mean,
like
if it was like on
Decay.
Game Pass, I'd for sure jump in, but I don't know if I would want to get it any other way.
Yeah.
I'll wait until I hear some things. But then we got Forza Horizon 4 with, guys, take
Lego.
a shot. We did it, guys. We got the number one prediction. A car was on stage. Heck yeah.
We did get it correct.
We got it
Car
correct.
Was on stage.
It was a Lego car.
It wasn't. I don't think it was a functional car.
Yeah.
But it was a Lego car.
I don't know. I mean, it
think
did
it's
look like
functional.
they were driving it out.
I'm pretty sure that was what he said. Like a fully functional Lego GT. Something.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a fully functional.
Like I'm sure it can't go.
He's
I'm
like
sure,
driving on the racetrack.
No, I'm sure it can't go
He
like
can't
80
go-
miles an hour.
He gets in a wreck and he's just screwed.
You can't go
dude.
from 0 to 120 in 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm sure it only goes like 10 miles an hour.
The Legos are just flying up. You're like, oh, this was a mistake.
Could you imagine he's just like doing like a Daytona, like the laps, and he's making so many left turns, you know? And then he just like makes one wrong turn right into the wall.
And the Legos just blow
shatters,
up.
dude. He goes flying.
He starts
And,
rolling
uh,
over Legos.
No, and his head pops
That'd be
up
the
and like
worst.
the Lego heart comes out like he's, you know.
That'd be the worst death ever. And then he gets a mini kit. It's like.
yeah.
All right, what's next?
Then we got the DLC for it coming, which actually looks kind of
kind of cool, but
interesting.
I'm not gonna buy it.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I guess if it's
I guess
free,
Game Pass.
it's free. Sure.
So,
Was the DLC free? Because I probably won't buy it if it's not free.
I mean, I don't know. If it's on Game Pass, I feel like it maybe would be. Then we got Gears Pop. Hasten, does this excite you at all?
No.
It's a mobile game.
I love pop figures, but like, why are you making a game? Stay in your space.
It didn't look that good either.
No.
Like, we finally saw gameplay of it. I can't believe this game was revealed last year.
And it still hasn't
come out.
And it has a
they're showing
2020
again.
release date. Doesn't it?
I don't think so. That would be ridiculous, though. I think it's this year.
2020! Get excited.
Get pumped, guys. Pop Gears.
Pop mobile game that looked crappy.
I mean, I'm sure it might be a little fun for a little bit, but I don't know.
If it's free, I'll try it, I guess.
Yeah. Then we got more State of Decay 2 news, which
Ooh.
I'm not
DLC.
looking forward to too much because the base game wasn't that great, which is unfortunate because I did like the first one. Phantasy Star Online 2.
I don't know. I've never even heard of this game, and apparently it's like one of the biggest games
Everyone
in
was
China.
freaking out about this, but this looked super weird.
This looks like
This
every
was the
other
weird
anime
section,
game in the world.
in the conference, I feel like, where there was a lot of things announced that I just did not give two craps about. There was this Crossfire X game, which looks like the biggest bro shooter I've ever seen, the grittiest classic bro shooter. I'll pass that one for now. Then Bandai Namco announced Tales of Arise, another
It was just like
anime
10
section.
minutes of just like nothing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, for a lot of people, I guess, especially in foreign areas, we're
Yeah.
probably freaking out about these. But
This
not
is a
for me.
U.S. company.
Yeah.
Frick.
Borderlands 3, we got another trailer for. I'm not too familiar. Tanner, anything you want to say about
Oh
Borderlands
yeah,
3?
so we got the Borderlands 3 a new trailer, which we already got confirmation from Gearbox that Xbox has manufacturing rights to play Borderlands 3, which is huge. And we already knew they were going to talk about the new character a little bit more. Big news besides that, we got Borderlands 2 news actually, because they announced
So weird.
They announced, of course, originally that Hansa Collection's free on Game Pass. And then they announced that it's getting like a 4K HDR, a free update texture pack. And then they were like, also this. And then it said, and that's not all this. And they're like, but that's not all. And they announced a new DLC for a 7-year-old game, Borderlands 2, which I talked about in the last podcast. I kind of figured, and I called it on the nose. I knew it was going to launch the night. I knew it was going to be available now. And it was free. So it's big news. I mean, I just starting to play it. I want to play it really bad, but it's super cool.
Yeah, pretty weird getting DLC this long after the game, but
Yeah, it's supposed to bridge
interesting.
the gap between the two. So.
Then we got something that was unfortunately leaked before the conference, so it wasn't too crazy for anyone, but the George R.R. Martin From Software RPG called Elden Ring. What did this cinematic do for you guys? Because for me, I was just kind of confused.
Yeah, me too.
Lost. I wasn't too into it.
No gameplay. You know, there's a lot of
There's
games
a lot
without
of these
gameplay.
games just like without gameplay. And if you don't have gameplay, no matter how,
You can't
unless
get
you're
hyped.
like a Naughty Dog game,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, unless it's a
Unless you
sequel.
know
Yeah, what
of
it is.
what the game style
it's gonna
is.
be. Yeah.
Like, because if Arkham or something, Rocksteady showed a cinematic game, I would know like what I.
Granted, though, like because it is.
But if that's the case, From Software's making
Yeah.
it. We know.
True,
it
I
could
take
be
that
a
back.
Dark-
then.
a
I take that
Souls.
back. I mean, like,
Could be
if it
Souls.
was an Arkham sequel, I know exactly how the Arkham combat is, right? I know what I'm going to be getting into in that sense. But it's like a new game like this. I want to see gameplay to get me really hyped, because otherwise I don't know what I'm buying into, right?
Definitely.
And that's another one of the biggest disappointments me and Hasten were mentioning earlier is just so far this E3 we have not got a lot of gameplay.
No, yeah.
Most games that are revealed are cinematics, which are cool and all, but just not that enticing because you don't know exactly what the gameplay is, right? Mm-hmm. Then we got more Xcloud talk. We already talked about that. It was really disappointing. We didn't hear too much. My biggest question is, are we going to be able to play this on any phone?
So I personally think that that's not too disappointing. It's a little disappointing, definitely. I'm still thinking it's one of the bigger ones. But he did say that the people there would be able to try it out. So I think we're going to get more news as people try it out.
Hopefully.
You know? I think he's hoping that the creators will be the ones talking about it.
Yeah.
And telling the people what they've played of it, you know.
Yeah, I'm really hoping so.
The only reason I don't think we got too much more details is because I don't... He did say, didn't he say that hopefully by later this year it would come out or have like a full release?
He said something about October, I feel like.
Because I think they'll go into more detail as it gets closer to that. Because they don't want to hype
up too
much.
Where are they going to announce it?
Yeah. Like this was the stage to do
it. They got X Live or...
Well, they have Inside Xbox.
Inside Xbox.
But that's not...
Inside Xboxes are like all the directs. They have Inside Xboxes.
But they're not nearly as big as
But they do it like once a month and it's just like, here's an update. You know what I mean? It's not as big as like these other things. Whereas like PlayStation has their... State of Play. Nintendo has their...
Xbox really needs to get on board with that and try to make their Inside Xbox more like that. Because whenever a Nintendo Direct is announced, people go haywire, dude. They go insane. Like, I do too for it. So if Xbox had something like that, it'd be really cool. But then we got the big news that everyone was wondering if we'd get, which is the console stuff.
Project
Scarlett officially releasing holiday 2020. We already talked about this
8K, guys, like I said
8K.
earlier.
SSD.
Biggest thing is the SSD.
Yeah.
And like
I don't think PlayStation's going to have an SSD.
Yeah. And like I said...
I think it might now.
Now? Oh, yeah. They're like rushing now. We got to attach one
I could be
anyway.
mistaken, but I swear that when the Andrew House or whatever did the PlayStation interview, he mentioned something about solid state drive, but I could be wrong.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
But anyway, I like I said, I think we're gonna get more details as it gets closer. I mean, we're still a year and a half off, so.
Yep. Project Scarlett confirmed to be launching.
It does have an SSD.
It does. Okay, that's what I thought. So both are gonna have SSD next generation. Makes sense. So really, there was nothing exclusive in nature to this Xbox announcement
which PlayStation hasn't officially announced any of that.
Well, they did. It was official. It was the head of PlayStation. Like, who else?
Well, I know, but it wasn't like in a...
It wasn't in a conference, but what difference does it make?
Well, of course.
If Phil Spencer was in an interview and said this stuff, it would be just as real, you know? Yeah. That's the only thing that kind of sucks is it's like... It sounds like, as of right now, what PlayStation and Xbox have announced...
is the same thing.
Exact same. Like, there's no difference, so...
Except they both made their own cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, which card is better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping that, like, when they go announce, they're not just like, yeah, this can do 8K game. It's not just like another upgrade hardware. I want something new.
Exactly. And this is something...
And I get the cloud gaming is becoming a thing, and that's what Xbox said. It's like, we're focusing on cloud gaming.
Mm-hmm.
But I still want a console, and I still want some just innovative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Throw me up a screen on the controller, or...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pull a switch. Get
I don't know, something.
A portable thing like that. And like,
I
want to see
upgrade your hardware.
It's like we're talking about. Like, show me Xcloud. I want to see it in action. Like, I mean, I know they've done like probably tech demos and stuff like that, but I wanted to see on stage them be like, look, this is what you're going to be able to do. This
just like Bethesda did.
You know, I feel like this is one thing misstep Xbox usually always does. Is they have this cool concept or idea for a future technology they're revealing, and then they're like, look how cool. And then they're like, when does it come out? It's like, when does this come out? When do I actually get to play this? You know? And then I never do. That's the one thing that sucks.
F you.
Yeah, it's like, F you, it's just for us. I also wonder, like, with, like you said, what I really do look for in my consoles. I love that they're different. Like, because there is... I don't want the Xbox and PlayStation
to be like
the
an
exact
Xbox
same.
One X.
Because it's like, otherwise, what's really the point besides the games, right?
Well, it's kind of like, people always argued that the Xbox One X was a new console and the PlayStation Pro, but I want something that's not just, like Kason said, a software update, you know?
Give me a dumb peripheral, I don't care.
give me something new. You know, like the jump from the Wii to the Switch. Even Wii to Wii U. with the gamepad and even the 360 to Xbox One.
Yeah, even though the Wii U in a lot of people's minds was like a failure,
it still innovated.
It innovated in the sense that we wouldn't have the Switch without the Wii U, because like that started the whole, screen right in the middle of 100%. Your controller. Like that was an awesome idea.
And they just slimmed it down and made it portable.
Exactly, yeah.
And did it right.
And PlayStation, maybe it would be cool. Like we got the touchpad on the PS4 controller. Maybe they're going to go further with that next generation. Put a little screen there. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see is PlayStation already has their little PlayStation streaming service on the phone. I'd love to see Xbox and PlayStation do this kind of thing where, kind of like how Switch did, where you can turn off the console and then it's on your controller.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Halo Infinite was the big finale for Xbox. What'd you guys think? Do anything?
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably the biggest Halo fan here out of all three of us.
For sure.
I honestly, the biggest thing that I loved about it was they went back to the original Halo Master Chief design. Halo 1, Halo 2. Cool. Not Halo 1. Halo 2 and Halo 3, the design of around those two. Which is awesome. I love that because we were getting way too.
His armor looks a lot more
cartoon,
bright green.
We were getting too
versus like the dark
realistic
green.
We were getting too realistic, almost where you started looking like Samus or like somebody from Pacific Rim. Like big bright green Halo suit is the classic. And I'm glad that they went back to that. Mm-hmm. We still don't know when it takes place or what the deal is because obviously Cortana's in there, and Master Chief. And you guys haven't played Halo 5, and I don't know if you will, so I won't say anything of the ending.
Well, so
I played. I started 1 yesterday.
Yeah.
So I got.
Would you care if I said what had happened at the end of Halo 5?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
So I don't want to.
Yeah, I won't say then, but like.
I know because I had it spoiled.
And we didn't get any sort of like resolution to that, Because for all I know, I think this is between certain games. That's why he's got the original costume on. That's why all this crazy stuff and. We would have loved to see gameplay. A lot of these just had cinematic trailers. And...
I think we did see gameplay though.
It might have been slight, but we couldn't tell.
Slight, and if it's on the next console, I'm very disappointed.
That's what I was just about to say.
Me and you talked about this. We're like, if this is on the next console,
I'm
gonna be disappointed.
Well, and it's weird too because they made a big deal right
I think
before
this is on
showing
Xbox One.
They were like, hey, guess what? Halo Infinite is gonna be on the next console too, and so it's like it's gonna be on Scarlett. Awesome, cool. And then they show this trailer, and it's like. This doesn't look that good. This looks like an Xbox One game. Yeah. This doesn't look that special.
I think it's an Xbox One. Like I think this gameplay was on Xbox One. I don't think they have a console made yet.
That's true. Probably
I also think that Halo Infinite,
especially if it's holiday 2020, we're talking.
Yeah, I mean that's a year and a half.
The truth is, I think Halo Infinite will be a lot like a lot of the.
This console needs to be done and made by next April.
Yeah.
Well, so it can be productive.
Halo Infinite will be a cross-gen game. 100%.
For sure.
It'll be on Xbox One too. So
same thing with the next Call of Duty. There'll be that year transition where it's just there's two consoles.
Yeah, my prediction is, or at least I hope, with that the Scarlett, you can just play every Xbox One game on it. Yeah. Like that's what I'm hoping for. Like maybe they'll still do, exclusive Scarlett games, but maybe they won't. Honestly, like maybe you'll be able to play Scarlett games on your Xbox One. They just won't look as good.
Yeah.
They'll be downgraded.
Maybe they won't have like new cases, like it's not like a complete overhaul.
Yeah. All in all, that was Microsoft's Xbox E3 press conference. I wanted to get your guys' a score you'd give it just generally with this one because this is probably arguably the biggest conference we have this E3.
Like I said at the beginning, Nintendo. Personally,
and maybe Square Enix.
Yeah,
I personally can't really complain about anything because they hit everything I expected them to. Of course, in a pipe dream, I was hoping for a something with banjo. But I knew
there's so much I was hoping for these two conferences, and I didn't even get.
But
there was a lot of pipe dreams
we had. Yeah, there was stuff that I was dreaming of, which is ridiculous dreams, which obviously aren't going to come true. Of course, I wanted them to talk about Elder Scrolls 6, but I knew they were not. They even said last year that it's a ways off. I'm not expecting anything. I was really happy that they talked about the console because I didn't think they were going to. Honestly, they hit everything that I expected them to, and they even announced some stuff that I was surprised about. It was a basic E3 press conference for me. It wasn't anything to be like, that was the best one yet, but it was definitely, up there, So I'd say, if I had to give it a score, I'd say, a 7 out of 10. It was definitely,
7.
Good, decent, but not amazing, not one of the best,
I I think I would actually give it a 9 out of 10. Like, I really think they did a really good job, and they focused on games the entire time.
And
you know what I mean? I feel like they start the first half of this show was literally just greatness. I mean, we were cheering for 45 minutes into this.
The first 45 minutes of this thing were so strong. I would argue the first 45 minutes of this was maybe the best Xbox conference we've ever had.
Well, if I can defend then, because I want to mention why I gave it a 7 for a reason, because honestly, one point I've taken away because not a lot of gameplay for a lot of games, and I think that was really disappointing. Right? Mm-hmm. I knocked off another point because the ending of the entire conference seemed really weak. There was a lot of vagueness because we got a lot of vagueness with the Xcloud and a lot of vagueness with Scarlett, which I've talked about, which was okay, but it was a little disappointing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I knocked off another point because we didn't get to... They were really vague with everything they talked about, and we didn't hear about all the other studios they have working for them. Because they had bought all these studios, but we got Obsidian, and that's about it. Like, as far as their new people that they bought,
Ninja Theory,
and Ninja Theory, but like they bought like 14 last year.
They bought them last year.
It was
that's another thing.
like
I mean,
6.
they just barely.
And like we didn't even get because I remember he mentioned at the beginning, like, and all of our developers are working on thousands of games, but like we didn't even get to hear. Well, because you saying like there's thousands of games in development, like
no,
it's probably true.
No, not Xbox. Yeah. But like I was a little upset not to hear more about what they're doing, or how games are doing there, because they bought all these companies, and as of right now we have Obsidian and Ninja Theory.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised personally by how much Xbox Game Studio reveals we got, because like Hasten just mentioned, they were just revealed last year. It's only been a year. But I would say I'm right in between you guys. I'm like an 8.5 out of 10. I really do think the start of this conference was amazing. Like the start of this conference for me was a 9.5 out of 10. Like it was really up there. I was super into it. I was super excited because it was just game after game. All of them were coming to Game Pass. It seemed like everything was just hitting. But then it took a weird turn about halfway through where the pace kind of slowed down. They started showing a bunch of games, as we mentioned, that were purely cinematic, no gameplay. I didn't really know what they were or why I should be excited for them. And then there was all the confusion with like the Xcloud and Scarlett stuff. Not confusion, but just like lack of information.
I definitely even think confusion because the stuff he was saying was really hard to follow.
Yeah, and it was
just saying like you guys will try it and it's streaming on your X. He said the specific thing he said, this is why I was a little mainly disappointed, because he kept saying like you'll be able to stream all your favorite games from your Xbox. And I'm like, but you already play the games on the Xbox. Why I wouldn't care to stream?
Yeah, that's
my games
I was curious
from
about
my
that
Xbox.
too. I was
like, sure, it might make downloads faster, but I don't care.
Yeah,
like
I was the same way with that. I was just super
because he kept saying on your console, and I'm like, that's not what we want. That's not what we're asking for. We don't want to be able to stream our games.
Yeah,
on our Xbox.
I have to watch it again because I'm sure.
Well, you're streaming it from your Xbox,
right?
From your Xbox to your phone.
Yeah, but he kept saying on
and
your
Xbox is your server.
But he kept saying on your Xbox. And then he'd say like to the people at E3, like, and you guys get to try it out.
Like, I'm sure that's not what he meant,
but it was vague. That's the problem. He was vague about that. He wasn't like, and you can try it on your phone, he wasn't like.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was shocked he didn't at one point just go, and you can play, like he said, like, and you'll be able to play across numerous devices. He never once was like
mentioned
just like you can play on your phone.
He didn't even say. He didn't say computer, laptop, phone, Switch.
All I wanted him to do was just go, hey, guess what? You can play on any phone. Boom. If he would have said that alone,
oh my gosh,
people would have been like, whoa, that went up Stadia.
You know what I mean? Because like you can't. Stadia's not going to let anybody play games except for Stadia on the Google Pixel.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not going to... Stadia's their thing.
I mean, potentially...
You're not going to be having the Xbox
unless you look at it, though, if you can download apps from whatever the Google Play Store is, right? And you can download the Xbox Game Pass app. If you can maybe do it through the Game Pass app, they can't necessarily control that, right?
Right.
Because it's like...
I'm pretty sure, like... I don't want to say this for sure, but I'm pretty sure, like, that's somewhat against the law, because that's like a monopoly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because then monopolizing.
I mean, no, because you can.
Because they'd be monopolizing their own customers, so they have to use their products.
Well, not necessarily, because look at the Nintendo eShop. Nintendo eShop doesn't have Xbox Game Pass.
But that's because, right? Nintendo's not a.
They're a corporation.
But they don't. They're not like owning a phone or like a service, you know.
I say they own the mobile service.
Yeah.
But like, there's not like a Nintendo service, you know, where you have like things that are from outside sources, you know.
Yeah,
'Cause
we're getting
Google-
a little too
it's hard to-
about it. I don't know the ins and outs of the law.
Well, no,
with that, but-
I just think that I don't know if that would be possible for them to completely remove and monopolize the game industry if they.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
On that
even if
phone.
he just said you'll be able to play on phones, like that would have gotten me hyped.
Anything.
Not
Which
everything.
I will
just-
say, I think that there could potentially be the reason he couldn't go into details because he didn't want to say anything because maybe even at Nintendo they'll announce that you can play on the Switch.
Well, and I think,
you know?
like you said, we're going to be learning more over the next few months, and a lot of it's probably not finalized yet.
Right.
But for me, I'm probably, like I said, 8.5, 8.
The
I'm
only
right
reason
around
I
there.
docked it, like this, honestly, it was such a good conference. I was pumped most of the time.
Me too.
The only reason I docked it is because one of Tanner's points is like there's no gameplay. We talked about that. It's like there's so many of these games that I'm
Huge.
excited for, and they look
Yeah.
awesome,
Well,
but there's no gameplay, so I don't know.
yeah, it
You know what I
really
mean?
hit me with
Exactly.
that Crossfire game. It really hit me because
That's why I gave it a 9.
literally,
That Crossfire
like,
game, like,
it really ruined it because I
looks
looked at it
horrible,
and I'm like,
sorry.
it looks from the video like an ad that like Google would make as a joke to be like, oh, action or something.
Yeah,
it
if I
looks
saw
like the
gameplay,
most
it might look
basic,
great, but-
generic action game.
It would be like if somebody asked you, like, make a Call of Duty trailer for me. Try to make
No,
it
make a
without
trailer-
looking- without
make a
looking
trailer
at the
about a
actual
war
Call of
game.
Duty. Like, yeah, make a war game for me. And like they're like,
That's what
okay,
they
this
did.
is the generic war game.
There's
war
a
brochure.
there's a ripped white dude with a beard who's going in slow motion as something's exploding and pointing
and
towards
pointing the gun at the camera. Like, it was so copy and paste.
Yeah.
It felt like if I saw gameplay, it might be something that would have like changed my mind. I'd be like, oh, because there's a lot of games like that. Like, for example, a game me and Hasten played back in the day. Actually, I don't know if you did, but Spec Ops: The Line. Like, that game, based on the cover, you might look at it and go like, this is just your normal bro shooter,
Yeah,
right?
it really
But
is.
you play it and it's actually different in a lot of ways, and it has a cool story and a cool setting. But, you know, if it just had a bro shooter trailer like that, it's very confusing. Like, you don't know exactly what you're getting into. But anyway, yep, that's our Xbox's reactions and recap episode. We thank you guys for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at SuperBrosVideos, on Instagram at SuperBasementBros. Please leave us your feedback. What did you guys think of the Xbox press conference? Leave it down in the comments below. What would you score it out of? And remember, you can find all sorts of entertainment related podcasts from us on the Super Basement Bro Show. We talk about movies, video games, TV shows, all that stuff, Disney parks. So please go subscribe, like, follow, comment, all that stuff. We thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.